All right, today we got a hot rod John Deere solid roller pulling tractor. Cam in for repair, so hang loose and we'll get into it. All right, so this thing has got some problems. So if you can see, get in on that. So this is a gear drive reverse rotation. So this is the open inside, and on like normal stuff, this would be the open inside. So what this thing has done, it's got bushed lifter bores with keyway lifters, if you know what that is. So we'll try to insert a picture, but basically, you know, because it's a roller lifter, a normal roller lifter has like a tie bar to hold the lifters straight so they're, you know, so they don't turn. Whereas this one and a lot of high-end drag race stuff, they actually broach a keyway in the lifter bore, and the lifter is held straight with the cam through that keyway. And so best I can tell, and you can see it, like, let me find, like right here. So you can see how faint, you can see the tracking, right? So you can see it's coming around, and it's I can feel it. I mean, it's wearing on the cam. And then right here, it gets really, really light, and then it gets heavy again. So it's actually, we call it lofting. So that the roller is trying to leave the cam as it comes over the nose radius. And so I'm just gonna suspect from what I see that there's not enough spring pressure and the valve train is just out of control. And I think this thing, I think he told me this thing has 100 PSI boost. So it's gonna take some serious spring pressure to control this thing. And he told me what he thought he had, and it ain't nowhere near enough spring pressure. And I mean, this thing it's big. I mean, it's 500 lobe lift. So I don't know what the rocker ratio is, if it's 1.5 or 2 to 1. I'm not sure what the rocker ratio is, but it's a lot of lift. But I see another problem. So if you, like right here, you can really see it. So you can see the wheel is hitting on this side. And then as it's, well on the wrong side. So it's hitting on this side, and as it starts up the flank, you can see it kind of squares up, and then it's tapering off again. I believe, and it's like that, some are a little worse than others, but they're heavy on one side, and some actually swap. Like you can really see it's real evident down here. I believe the lifter is not perpendicular to the camshaft, so I think they bushed the bores with a keyway, and it looks like maybe when they bushed them, they got them a little off. So that's a problem in itself. But I believe the valve train just out of control is what beat the keyways out of the lifters, and then. And I've already fixed I done fixed this lobe. So I just ground that lobe, and it was actually a little worse than this one. And luckily, I was scared we was gonna have to weld it, but luckily, I think I measured it, and we only changed the base circle diameter like 35 thousandths. And this is a tool steel core. And with tool steel, they're through hard. So there's no possibility of, you know, grinding through the heat treat versus like a 8620 or an induction hardened. So we've got, you know, there's not a heat treat problem, but we don't want to make the base circle too small, or we're going to get into push rod length issues, and they've got really big, long, high dollar push rods, so we don't want them to have to buy any more push rods. But So this is the first exhaust, and this is the first intake. So I'm on exhaust right now. So we're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna let you see us grind this one in. But yeah, but like I say, this is just a little different than the stuff that we normally do. So I figured it would be a little cool to see it, because like I say, man, it's long, it's big. This thing's got an inch. What was it? 2 3/8 main journal, and then it was 1 3/50 base circle. So that's huge. I think this size lobe, like even on a LS or a big block Ford, would only be like 1 in 200 probably. So it's a really big lobe. All right, here we go. And I was really impressed. This thing's done been run, you know, for a little while, and I checked it, man, the cam was nice and straight, and whoever, I don't know who made it, somebody out in the Midwest that specializes in this John Deere stuff, but they just from what I see, man, they did a really nice job. I mean, the cam looks nice. So what you can see, I mean, we ain't hardly moved at all, and we done cleaned up everything, but this, you can see where the lifter turned sideways and dug into that opening side. But like I say, it's not taking a whole lot to clean it up, so that's a plus. Because they got some kind of big, I think they got an event or two coming up, and they in a points chase, so we tried to just work it in and get it done for him quick so he could get this thing back together and make the next pull. But I enjoy doing some of this oddball stuff like this. It's kind of neat. Yeah, some of this stuff you got to be careful, because like some of these, and even some of the 6-cylinder car stuff too, you know, it's gear to gear, so the cam, you know, the motor's clockwise, but the cam's counterclockwise, and that matters if you have an asymmetrical lobe design where the opening side is different from the closing side. But on these lobes, I run it in the Cam Doctor and looked at them, and it's actually a symmetrical lobe design, and it's the same lobe on the intake and the exhaust. So it doesn't matter. But if you can't see that data then it's just, you don't know. So you got to make sure when you put a lobe on, you got it turned the right way. It's like flathead Fords, the cam turns counterclockwise, so I always have to remember that, because the master goes on the machine. You can put it on either way, but we have a mark to know which way to put it on. So when we're doing flathead Fords, we always got to put the master on backwards. So it's just one more thing to think about. So it's all cleaned up. So this one, obviously this one wasn't nearly as bad as this one, because we still got a little ways to go, because we want the base circle diameters to match on all of them. So that's why we done the exhaust first, because it's the worst. So we'll do all the exhaust, and then the intakes, other than just like say some of this, a little bit of tracking, you know, they're not wore enough to really bother anything. But like I say, I'm sure that what we see is just an out of control valve train. Because the cam's hard. I checked it in the Rockwell tester, and it was like 60, 61 or something. So there ain't no problem with the hardness, I just believe. And again, I'm not a lobe designer, but just from what I could see, the lobe didn't look overly aggressive to me. So actually the lobe design was really smooth. I mean, it looked nice, especially for 500 lobe lift. That's big boy stuff there. The base circle down there is just a smidgen wider than my stone is. So I'm gonna trace it back and forth before I make the finish pass. Alright, there it is. And so you can see, I mean, it's all the ugly's gone. It's all good. It's all good.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So I'm gonna do what is that? 10 more lobes, and we'll have this one done. But like I say, I just thought that'd be interesting for you to see. But you know, and we've had some requests to make some of this tractor pulling cams, and you know, again, we're super busy and we're way behind. We can make these blanks, these tool steel blanks, if somebody needs them, but it's not something that, I mean, we're not advertising to do that. But you know, I know it's getting harder and harder because people's telling me, you know, they just can't get anybody to make this kind of stuff. So we will make it, but you know, it's just time and money. So, but anyway, I hope that was interesting and informative. And we starting this new channel just for the camshaft side of things. And so, you know, if you would, you know, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, try to get this side of the YouTube channel off the ground. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.